Hi, welcome to Video Doctor YouTube channel, and in this video we'll be seeing how to animate an Indian flag or any flag inside DaVinci Resolve 18.6. So what we need is a flag and a background, whichever is preferable. So I'm just going to import directly into my timeline. There are a lot of ways to do that, but I prefer this way because I have a pretty solid reason for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to so this is my foreground, this is my background, so it's going to be something like this. I'm going to select both, right click, and I'm going to say new fusion clip. Now these two clips becomes as one clip, but it is still you can do a lot of things inside this. You can go open in timeline and you can replace these things, and whatever animation inside this is going to work out. And I can go inside Fusion. You can see it has automatically brought in my foreground and background. So for example, I need to just take this and put it over here to see what is happening. So I can press F2 and say this is my background. And we also have this media 2, which is our foreground. I'm just going to select and F2, and it's going to say flag. Done. So first things first, we will animate the flag first. I don't want two viewers, I'll have only one viewer. I can just drag and drop what I'm seeing. So this merge is also not required. We just need to require background and foreground. So this flag is there. I'm just going to convert into 3D. So this is where all the frequent tools will be available for you. So I'm just going to drag and drop this image 3D. I can just connect the lines, and when I drag and drop this image 3D plane, you can see my flag is in 3D space already. So I can just move it, pressing Alt. I can just move or rotate all these things, and pressing Control and scrolling, I can go in and out. So this is how it work. So with the middle mouse button, you can move. With Control, you can zoom in and zoom out. With Alt, you can with Alt, you can move into 3D space. That is how it works. So first we will animate this flag. So I'm going to select Shift and spacebar to bring up my tool. You can also go over here and find your tool. If you're familiarized with what you're doing, you can press Shift and spacebar and you will get this select tool options. So we are just going to displace 3D. So you can see it is automatically connected. So when you select a node and insert a node, it will automatically connect. I can just drag and drop this displace. Nothing is going to happen. We need to give data how it's going to get displaced. So for that, we need image or information or black and white data. So simply we'll get this fast noise over here and just simply connect the fast noise to displace 3D. You can immediately see this has a lot of displacement. This much is not required for us. So I can select the fast noise. Now I need two viewers. I need to see the fast noise and the image. So this is my fast noise settings. Detail is required just one. I'm just going to reduce everything. Yeah, this is fine. If I try to rotate my ankle and see, you can see this is the flag, and you can also try to change the center and see. We are going to animate both angle and center to be more realistic. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to angle. So right click and I'm going to modify, and I'm going to anim curves. So what anim curves will do is it will automatically do an animation up to whatever your length is according to the timeline. So even if you extend the timeline, so this animation will be there. So to adjust those anim curves, you have to go to the modifiers and you can adjust here. So let's say if you want your source should be duration, and according to the duration it will take, you want to be easing in and easing out, so the flag will be smoother. You can increase your scale. It'll be a little more faster. It'll look like this, an animation flag floating on a 3D space. And now I need a background here. So I just need a simple background, but since I'm going to use my 3D camera, I need a complete set of background here to completely work on this. So what I'm going to do is I already have a background, but I need this in a 3D space. So what I'm going to do is instead of 3D plane, I'm just going to add a shape 3D and just drag and drop. So it's just a plane. I need to change this to sphere. I'm just selecting this sphere and I'm connecting the sphere to the shape 3D. Now you can see this has the background to this space. But the problem is I need to connect this one and this one. So for that, we need a tool called merge, and that is also available over here. I can just drag and drop, just select this merge and select the shape 3D, and nothing happens right now. If you want to see a particular node, you just need to drag and drop. So now you see this node, and control and scroll, you can go inside this place, but this is too small, right? So I need at least a little bit bigger place to work around my cameras. So I can just select this sphere and increase my radius just like this. So it's gonna look something like this. So yeah, you can move around anywhere you want, and it looks really fantastic when you take a camera. So now it is like a 3D world, like what we see in our world. We need a camera and we need to render 3D. So all these things to work on. We can remove this merge. So I'm going to add a 3D camera here. That also is available over here. Or you can just select this merge 3D and select 3D camera and render 3D. Everything will be available over here. So you can just drag and drop this render 3D and you can see what this camera is actually seeing. So now the fun part is, if you move this camera, you will be able to see what is going to happen. So this is really nice, right? If you are using a Windows, you can just select a hardware renderer. So your workflow will be very smooth, a little bit smoother than before. So let's start animating. So let's say my first frame will be something like this. I can select my camera and go to the transform, right click, animate transform, translate group. So everything gets animated. Right click and again animate rotate group, and everything gets animated. So I'm going to my 20th frame and bringing this out like this. So it has the Indian flag. I want to be in the full screen. And yeah, so now you can just play back and see. My idea is only the Z has been turned on, but others are also there. I want to put a keyframe on all the places. So now it looks something like this. I need it to be a little bit smoother, little bit faster. So I can go inside the spline area. And now you can see there are a lot of tools over here. We have added a lot of tools, but I just need this one camera tool alone. So I can just go to this menu here and show only selected tool. So it'll select only the camera and show it to me. And this is the animation that we have done. So I can select this and change this method or change. It'll be slower and then gradually it will stop. So it'll have a character to it. I can just select all and just do this smoothing. It's called Bezier curve. It'll look like this. It's fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring out the animation a little bit more. And I'm going to do a small parallax kind of effect. So I'm going to my 110th frame. I'm just coming out a little bit. I am just a little bit coming out, maybe a little down. And maybe I can use my up tool to rotate something like this, and maybe a little more down and rotate something like this. Yeah. So this is my animation. This is how my animation is going to be. So it is going to take it down. Something like this, and done. And here again, you can work on your animation. You can just select if you want to put it on a smoother manner. Yeah, you can put it on a smoother manner. Comes and gradually goes down, revealing the bottom part of the image. And this part is where we'll write our text, like whatever it can be, a Happy Republic Day, 26th January, or whatever you want, you can write. So for the end animation, I want this 5 frames from 110 to 115. I just want to go faster in back of the same place where we came in. So yeah, if we apply a lot of motion blur, it's going to work out really well. So it's going to be something like this. And just a keyframe is already done. Let me set a keyframe. Yeah. it works like this. But let's say if we enable, for example, if you come to the render and go to the settings, and if you say motion blur and increase its quality, then it's going to be really looking good out of here. So I'm just going to remove this as of now. It is very much processor intensive. So now this is done. This animation has been done. So we are just coming out and going over here, and this animation has been done. So now we need to add a text. Again, I have a text here. I'm just bringing it over here, and I'm going to write, I can just throw this text wherever I want and say Happy Republic Day, and this is going to be 26th January 24. So I'm going to change some couple of fonts to see which suits me well. I don't have any font idea as of now. Okay. Yeah, this looks really good. So I'm going to use, and I can use a little bit of extrusion also. Extrusion is like giving a 3D depth to the image. And I can go to the shading part, and I'm going to say this has to be a little bit of reddish or orangish according to my tone. And my specular color can be a little bit of white and gray. If you're adding any kind of lights, this is going to work out for you. So now it is somewhere, this is somewhere, this is somewhere. We just need to connect it or merge 3D. Now when you connect it, you can see this is available over here. You can see your final output, how it looks. So I'm just going to select this text, and I'm just going to do a basic positioning, simple positioning. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit, maybe a little bit front. Of course, a little bit front. Yeah. Maybe a little bit smaller. Yep. And a little bit up. So now I just want this one to get animated when it's coming up. Let's say 0.20 is good for us right now. 0.20 and a little bit bottom down. Yes, it works for me. So now we are just going to do a simple animation, reveal animation for us. So it is coming like this. So I just want to from this part, let's say Happy Republic Day is coming here. I just want to write on only that part. So I'm just clicking this write on over here. Make sure you have selected the text, write on over here. You can just remove this, and you can go to the next 60 frames and just carefully Republic Day. That's it. So you are again putting a keyframe, Republic Day, and we are just holding as of now until it reveals the frame for everything. And again, let's say at 90th part, I'm just adding another keyframe, and another 5 frames or 6 frames later, I'm just extracting all the other parts of the image. So something like this. And you can see this part is too much of empty here. I want to adjust those things. You can simply come to this keyframe area. Just open this keyframe. You can just select this keyframe and bring it front. However you want, you can adjust all the keyframes over here. So now this is done. Awesome. So the animation and everything is done. So the better part of working with the nodes is you can come over here to the flag, and if you want to say, let's say you want to do some color corrections, like bringing now the saturation, it's too much of saturated according to our background, something like this. And if you want to increase the contrast or decrease the contrast, whatever you want, you can do. This is node. Even in your background, it's just an image. You can add a CC, and you can increase your lift. You can increase your gain, or decrease your gain, increase your lift, whatever you want, you can do. And that will readily get affected in your work environment. See, if you're increasing your brightness, yeah, it increases over here as well. So this looks good. It's a little bit of darker grayish, all those things. Let's say you don't want this part of the area, you want other part of the area. You can select your shape 3D, and you can change the angle whenever you want. You can shift the angle, which part of the image ever you want. So I think this is good, fine. And yes, so we have this Republic Day. And now this part has to be addressed right now. I'm going to add a little bit of lights to the image, lights to the frame. So I'm just going to put it in Merge 3D, and you can go to the effects, go to the tools, and you can go to 3D and lights. So let's say I'm going to put some point lights over here. There is no effect as of now. That is because in renderer, we have not enabled lighting. So when you enable lighting, the lighting gets affected. So we need to keep it as proper as possible. And you can increase the intensity, or if you don't want a spotlight, you can just remove the spotlight and you can add an ambient light. That should work well, and you can increase the intensity. So you can change the position of the spotlight, ambient light. So it'll lit everything equally. If you want it a little dull or little glowish, you can do whatever you want. So now this looks good. When I come back to my edit page, everything is black. That is because we need to make sure that renderer 3D is connected to my media output. So this is a very important part of this DaVinci Resolve Fusion thing. Now this is done. You can play back here. All stuffs are good. So yeah, again, we forgot to add our motion blur. And yeah, now we have done that. You will be able to see this motion blur. For example, if you don't want motion blur or high thing, we can remove just for the viewer's sake. So, but it will get affected in our final output. Yep. So to see this properly, to see how this works from start to end in a proper animation, you can just right click and go to render in place. Normally you can select DNSHR 10-bit. It works good, and good dynamic range as well. And I can say wherever I want, let's say video doctor, I can create a new folder and say Indian flag. And yes, and just select the folder, and we'll start rendering your content. So now the rendering has been done. You can do a playback. It'll look really nice. Yes, done. So I can, in the edit page, I can just simply just bring it down to black when it goes at something in this point. Maybe I can just bring it down. Yeah. And in the front, I can just bring it something like this. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe little bit something like this. So we have this right now. You can go to the color page and do whatever effects you want in this. So let's say I just want to use my curves here, over here. I just want to use a little bit of curves, a little bit of darkness, and add another node. I want to add a film grain to this. Can add a proper film grain. Bigger texture, grain size. To make it more natural, you can see the grains. If you feel it's just oversaturated, you can just select any color over here and just bring down the saturation. However you want, you can do your perfect, all kinds of color grading and all these things. Yep. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of film damage, which will bring that look. So another one thing I forgot to mention is you can come back over here, just right click, and you can see decompose to original, and you have that fusion clip with you. So you have all those things available with you. And the best part is you can open this, and you can open this in open timeline, and you can say you can just replace. For example, I'm just bringing in another background over here. Let's say I go to my downloads and I have a different white cloud background. Let's say I just drag and drop inside this. And let's say I have this background. I want to use it. You can just select this, just replace your clip, confirm with the media pool clip, and you can come back to your timeline. You can see, so this clip has been replaced just like that naturally, and you can replace the flag also without any issues. So this is all about it. You can create a lot of things using Fusion and DaVinci Resolve. Please make sure you subscribe our video doctor, and we will come back with a lot of videos, not only softwares and hardwares also. Thank you.